Hey, what is going on guys, and welcome to my first PC build video. So essentially in this video I'm going to be giving you a theoretical build which you could build for $600, which is about £350. So without further ado, here is the build. To kick this build off, I have the processor, which is an AMD Athlon X4 760K, which is an absolute beast of a processor for budget builds. It offers a 4-core design, which is very good for the price that this is giving us. It's stock clocked at 3.4 GHz, which is pretty cool, and the fact that you can overclock this is awesome as well. For this build in particular, we're going to be going with the stock AMD cooler, and that is simply because this is kind of a budget build. You're not going to be doing any kind of serious overclocking if you do any at all. And yeah, that's basically all you're going to require for this. So we've got the AMD processor here. In terms of our motherboard, we're going with the MSI A78M-E45, which is going to give us the FM2 Plus socket that we need for our Athlon CPU. This is a nice motherboard for the price, and it's going to allow us to have up to 64 GB of RAM, even though we're not going to be using that many. It's going to give us 6 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, a USB 3.0 header on the board, gigabit internet, and things like crossfire support, which we may use in the future. It also has a few other things, including MOSFET cooling, which is just a nice thing for gaming boards, especially if you're going to be doing some light overclocking. For RAM, we're going with 8 GB of Patriot Signature, clocked at 1600 MHz. This is a sweet spot for gaming, and this really good value RAM at a very reasonable price. Even comes with a heat spreader, and yeah, it's just a really nice RAM for particularly gaming. 8 GB is the optimum amount for that. As a graphics card, we're going with the Sapphire Radeon R9 260X, which is a really cool graphics card for budget builds because it includes 2 GB of GDDR5 memory, which is awesome for higher resolution games and just higher quality gaming in general. It's more important as ever, and it comes with the usual 2 DVI ports, DisplayPort and HDMI port on the back, so it's going to give you a nice variety of screens and monitors and displays that you can use with it. This card in particular does require extra power from your power supply, and that's why we're going to go with a nice high quality power supply. Our power supply, which is a Corsair CX430M, is a personal favourite of mine. I actually have this power supply in the 600 watt model for my own personal PC, and I've got to tell you, it's a very nice power supply. It's 80 plus bronze, so it's very efficient. Not as efficient as some of the more high-end ones, but for this it's, you know, a very nice power supply. It is not fully modular, however it is semi-modular, which essentially means most of the cables are modular. The only cable that isn't modular is the 24 pin motherboard power connector, which obviously, why would you want that to be modular? You need that cable no matter what. So yeah, it's just very nice, convenient, easy to work with, high quality power supply, and I just really like it. Next, we're going with another Corsair product, and that is the Corsair Specco 3 in red. However, there are other colours available, including white and blue, and that is basically for the front fan, the LEDs in the front fan. So it's nice to see that, you know, they have some customization with that. You can choose your own. Obviously you could remove that fan and put a completely different colour, whatever you want to do. It's completely customizable. So this is an ATX mid tower case, which is larger than what we need because we are using a micro ATX motherboard, but it just means that you have a little extra room for cable management, especially if this is your first build. It's just a nice thing to have. I know I'd like that on my first build. It's just and I didn't actually have that luxury on my first build, and which is just one of those annoying things, and I wish I did have a larger case. So it's just something to consider when you're doing your first build. Obviously we have two 5¼ inch bays for your CD and Blu-ray drives. Internally we have two 2.5 inch bays for your SSDs, and three 3.5 inch bays for standard hard drives, which is, you know, bountiful amount of storage capability. We've got plenty of room for video cards, a nice large case, and you know, we've got some USB 3.0 headers on the front of the case, which is just something you'd like to see in cases these days. Another thing is actually that this case, being a budget case, it actually has a window on the side, which is something you don't usually see in cases at this price, but yeah, that's just another nice feature for the case. Finally, of course, we have our storage solution. So this is where you're going to put your operating system, as well as any programs, games, anything like that that you're going to store on your computer. Now, personally, I'm a fan of SSDs. I like putting my operating system and programs on there, but for a budget build, you can't always have an SSD. But if you have the extra money to add an SSD, especially a Samsung 840 EVO, I believe it is, or a HyperX one, they are really nice SSDs. But if you can't have that, I really like the Seagate Barracuda 7200 RPM drive. This is what I have in 2 terabyte model, but I've included the 1 terabyte model in this build. It's just an all-around nice hard drive, and if you don't want one of these, then a Western Digital Caviar Black, you can't go wrong with one of them. But I personally, I've got one of these in my actual home build, so yeah, I recommend these. I think they're a nice, nicely priced for what you're getting. Okay, so that was my $600 gaming PC build. This thing will easily play most games at medium to high settings, and on a lot of games it'll even get you an ultra. Yeah, it's you get what you pay for basically. And for this price point, you're going to get a nice all-round PC that's not going to lag. You're going to get that 60 FPS that you've been wanting, and it's just going to play the games that you need it to play. And obviously, with an overclockable processor, the possibilities are endless. Obviously, you can add things to this. We have crossfire support, so if you want to throw another one of those 260Xs in there, you can go ahead. If you want to overclock the processor, give it a better cooler, that's also something that's a possibility. And there's loads of different things you can do with this, obviously. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is my first PC build video on this channel, and I think I'm going to start doing these more often. I actually really enjoyed making this video today, guys. It took a lot of effort researching all these parts and stuff, but if you enjoyed it, a like is always appreciated. I'm also going to leave a link to the PC part picker page so you can see where to buy all these parts. And yeah, that is it for this video. I will see you in our next one. Goodbye, guys.